it again. So you gotta do the homework. That's a requirement. And next week, there may be some change in the plan. So keep an eye on the group me. We'll be doing some update. Okay. Of course, there will be class, but it's just a what we had planned and what we are gonna do is a little may change because we are far ahead in what we had planned. So we may better start doing some practice. The next thing is, remember last week we talked about December 4th ACT review. So if you guys are interested to sign up, you guys have to do quick. This is probably one of the slowest we had, and if we don't get enough students, we'll just be canceling that. So please make sure if you're interested to do for the review, it's December 4th from 1 to 4. Your parents need to text me right away, okay? And then we'll be confirming the registration. I know you guys had Ryan just now today. How did it go?
Good.
How is it helping you guys? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anybody taking the October test? Yeah, that's why we made some changes to next week's plan. So, all right. Do you have any questions for me? It seems like a slow day. That group did not ask me anything. It was boring as hell. So hopefully you guys don't do that today. Do you have any questions you want to ask me? Yeah.
In general?
Yeah, please. This is a long class. Midterm is always, October is always a tough one for this. Things improve quite a bit in November. October is a little tough month for this class. And the weather is changing from now really hot to warm to cold. So, and Halloween is coming, and things change after that because then everybody starts preparing for the December test. But yeah, so online students, are you guys anybody taking the test? Okay. Yeah, keep an eye on the group me for next week. Okay, there may be changes. I'm not sure because it was just a. I was going through my notes and I thought we may have to do some practice. So we'll be updating that on the group me up pretty soon. Latest by Tuesday, I would have an answer. Okay. All right. If you guys have nothing to ask me, let's get started. Page 15 of the math packet. Open page 15 of the math packet. Equation C. Many students have seen that equation called difference of squares. So we're going to get directly started with the questions. First question. Oops. So of course you know the formula a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. Let me get a different marker here. A square minus b square is equal to a plus b times a minus b. First one. The question will say factorize or simplify, okay? X squared minus 64. X squared minus 64. This will be in the first 10 of the ACT math question. You should take less than 10 seconds to do this. What do you got?
X plus A
x plus 8 times
X minus eight.
x minus 8. Sounds good? Again, the first 10, very, very easy. Time to move on. Second one, 8x squared minus 200. Again, the question will say factorize or simplify. And this will be around question number 30. All right. Neither one of them, 8x squared and 200, are perfect squares. But if you factorize 8 out, you get x squared minus 25. Right? You take the 8 out, you're left with x squared minus 25. Now you can do difference of squares, x plus 5 times x minus 5. Make sense? So when you see a problem like this, when you have something like this, keep an eye on factorization. So you can factorize a common number and to convert it into a perfect square after that one. And I've seen this happen in ACT quite a bit. And I can expect in question number 2 more than 1, by the way. Okay. Question number 3, not so much. Maybe once in a while you'll see that. Factorize x raised to 6 minus y raised to 8. All right, very important question. Now, to use difference of squares, you gotta have the square term outside, like this one. Right now we don't have it, but you can convert this x raised to 6 as x raised to 3 squared. Now look at this. A raised to m raised to n is a raised to m times n. So 3 times 2 is 6. And this 2 is sticking outside because now this is a squared. So this is my a squared minus y raised to 4 squared. 4 times 2 is 8. A squared minus b squared is a plus b times a minus b. Make sense? I've seen all three in the ACT, with question number 2 being the most common. Question number 4. Again, it says factorize or simplify a raised to 16 minus 16. If you have carefully listened to question number 3, you should be able to do question number 4. All right. A raised to 8 square. 8 times 2 is 16. Again, the 2 has to be outside. That's the key thing. Minus 4 squared. A squared minus b squared is a plus b times a minus b. How many got this point? 1, 2, 3. Anybody online? All right. But here's a trick thing though. This was not the answer in the ACT. Someone tell me what happened. This was there. Many people picked this answer, but it was wrong. What do you think has happened? Yeah.
Should the A be, like, should the A's exponent be 4?
Mm-hmm. It has to be 2 outside here. Anybody? Guess? Here's the reason what happened. The a raised to 8 plus 4, which is a positive binomial, that doesn't change. But look at this one here. This further can be simplified. Because that was also a perfect square. So, it is a raised to 8 plus 4 times a raised to 4 plus 2, a raised to 4 minus 2. Does this make sense? So sometimes keep an eye that one of the factors can be further factorized. So keep an eye on that one. This was question number 60 in the ACT. Sounds good? I would like everybody to do question number 3 and 4 again. Repeat 3 and 4, please. Do it again, please. That's good? I would be, if I were to be preparing, I'd be mainly focusing on 2 and 4. That's what I would practice on. Good? Open page 11 of the math packet. We'll be focusing on equation of circle. Equation of circle. So I can draw a circle in an XY plane like this. And the center coordinates, instead of calling X and Y, just to distinguish, I'm going to call it H and K. Where H becomes the X, K becomes the Y. Sounds good? And any point of the circumference, we're going to call the point XY. So a circle can be drawn on an XY plane. And what is this distance called? Radius. Right? So the distance formula, what we studied on the, probably in the second day when we did the straight line equations, that itself is the equation of circle. So look at the equation of circle. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to radius squared, which is the same as distance formula. X1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared, square root of that becomes the distance. So the distance formula, what we studied on page 7 of the math packet, is nothing but the equation of circle. They're exactly the same because that represents the radius. You guys good? Literally exactly the same. So let's make a simple problem here. So let's call this h and k 5, negative 1, and let's call the radius as 7. With this information, write the equation of circle, and this will be like question number 20 or 25. Okay, you just plug it in. So you just plug it in. X minus 5 squared. And remember, we have negative k, and k is negative 1 here. Negative of negative becomes positive. Plus 1 squared is equal to 7 squared. This is it. This is what they want you to do. You do not solve it, you just plug it in. Make sense? Is good? Yeah, that's usually is a typical ACT question, takes usually 10-15 seconds. The next one, question number 35, 40-ish, but may take a little bit more time, but still very, very easy. So I've given this information with this information, you have to write the equation of circle. Go. All right. The first thing I would do is to plug it in for h and k in the main equation. That's always should be the point. So x minus 0 squared plus y minus of minus 3 becomes plus 3 squared is equal to radius squared, because we do not know the radius. Am I right? Simple. But we know x and y because I've given the point on the circumference. So x is minus 2, 0 is of course, y is 6 plus 3 squared. So minus 2 squared is 4, 9 squared is 81, 81 plus 4 is 85. So radius squared is 85. So the equation of circle is x squared. You don't have to say x minus 0, it's the same thing. Y plus 3 squared is equal to 85. Make sense? This is what will be asked. Any questions on this? Yeah.
How did you get x squared parentheses y plus 3 squared?
Remember in the first one it was x minus 0 squared, right? You don't have to include 0.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's understood. So.
yeah. Thank you.
And I can guarantee in the ACT they will write like this, not like this one. Everybody get the blue books, please. Open page 784. Have we done the first 10? I don't think so, right? All right. So we'll be starting with some practice tests because we're at that point, we're completing this curriculum very well. So in the first 10, I'm gonna give you guys 7 minutes. Okay? Get your calculators. Yeah. Now we are on the phase 2 of the class where we're gonna get started with the real world ACT test questions. So, you guys ready? You want calculator? Okay.
Thanks, Manoj.
Your time starts now. First 10 questions, 7 minutes. Time's up. Does anybody need more time to finish those 10? You need time? Okay.
Just 2 questions.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a couple minutes. All right, I'm gonna read out the answers for the first 10. Ready? DGB, GCF, EKA, J. Did anybody get it all correct? One. Anybody from online? 2. One wrong. 1, 2, 3. Two wrong. 1, 2. Okay. Any questions you want me to do? Yeah.
Number 2.
Okay. Remember, number 2 is how much more money does each band member, so per person. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I've had many people get that wrong because they forgot to read that each. When you read, you have to underline keywords that can change the meaning, and in this case, it is the each band member. Yeah, I was expecting people to ask that question. Anybody else? Any other? Yeah.
8.
Okay. 8 is important. Any other questions? All right. We're gonna do now 11 to 20. I'm gonna give you guys 8 minutes time. Your time starts now. 11 to 20. right, guys. Anybody need more time? Okay, let's go to that question. Question number 8. Very typical. You're gonna see this probably every single time in ACT. So it is basically a simplification question. Again, you have a quadratic equation like what we just did today. So they're asking you to simplify, and they're saying x is not equal to 1, because if I put x is equal to 1 in the denominator, it becomes 0. At the denominator, it becomes undefined. So x cannot be equal to 1. The first step in a quadratic simplification is to factorize by having the first step x minus x minus. That's the first step. Guys good so far? Then you split the middle term such a way that when I add these two numbers, -1 and -1, they becomes -2. When I multiply these two numbers, it becomes +1. So -1 is -2. -1 times -1 is +1. Then the x minus 1 will cancel. One common term will cancel. You're left with x minus 1. Yep,
How do you know which one you cancel?
doesn't matter.
Oh.
Make sense? Very, 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 very common question. Probably, if there's one question I will see every single time in ACT is this one right here. All right, I'm gonna read 11 to 20. DGC, FCK, AHB, and 20 is K. Did anybody get it all right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good.
What was 18 again?
H.
Thank you.
One wrong. Okay. Any questions?
13.
If we add up 7 consecutive odd integers that are greater than that are each greater than 21, what is the smallest possible sum? So you're adding 7 consecutive odd numbers greater than 21. So you start with 23. So 23 plus 25 plus 27. 7 of them. All right. I would like you guys to keep an eye on the GroupMe app for the update. Students who have not done the homework should be doing the homework without fail. And next week will be pretty important. Okay? Sounds good? All right. So see you guys next week, and keep doing the homework. Bye-bye.